Hello everyone, welcome to Caroline's Craftery, and today, welcome to October, and welcome to Folio Fun for 2025. Hopefully you've been following along. I am making this folio journal. I'm loving how it's turning out so far. And this month, we are doing fall leaves and sunflowers. Now, Pat J4132 suggested sunflowers, so thank you for your suggestion. I do love sunflowers. And Craft NM7225 suggested fall leaves. So I was able to put those together in this folio. So we have our front with a few cutouts. We have some pockets and more cutouts of different kinds. We have our two French labels that I've been doing each month. Kind of helps tie them in a little bit to each other, I think. Then we have some tags. And of course, then our other labels. And I did a couple little labels for something I might or might not do. Some more cutouts. And then here is our background page. Now I printed it separately this time, but I also have it on the back of here because I was uncertain of what I was going to do this time. So I did both because if I don't use it for this project, I'll use it for something else without a doubt. So I am going to go and cut all this stuff out. I will score whatever needs to be scored. I think the only thing this time is this. Again, with the pockets, I did it with either the flap. There is a tiny little outline of where to fold if you want to use that type of pocket. I usually cut that off, but I like to give you that option depending on what you like to do. Sometimes I'll even leave one piece on, or maybe I'll leave the sides on, but I'll cut the bottom off. It really varies, but more times than not I end up I cut them off. And when I make the tags and whatnot, I try to make sure that the tags are going to fit in these pockets, whether you leave this on or off. So let me go. I'll go cut this, I'll score, and I'll ink everything, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what my thoughts are on how to assemble this month's folio. Okay, so we are back with everything cut out and distressed, and we got this now. Because we cut by hand and whatnot, mine's a little bit off here. I wanted those to line up. The bottom lines up good, but it's handmade. What can you do? So, first off, this is going to go just right in there, just like that. The one thing I did forget was I was going to dig up some stuff for the top of my tags. Here. Maybe we can use some of this or some of this. These are just some flowers that I just recently dyed. Same with these. So maybe we'll use some of that. See what else is right beside me here. Got a couple of these. We might put some of those on. I don't know. We will see. Okay. Let's start by gluing this down right to the middle. I'm going to use art glitter glue. I use art glitter glue for everything. It is a little more expensive of a glue, but I find that I don't use nearly as much of it. So in the long run, is it any more expensive? Not really. One of the bottles will last me at least a year. Not this size, I buy the bigger 8, I think it's 8-ounce bottle. Okay, so that's going to go right, leave just a little space on the bottom. And as you can see, I did take all the things off of my pocket. So this big card is going to go in here. Just kind of like so. And then we've got these, which they're kind of designed to go on the one side and the other. So let's go ahead and let's glue these on, and I'm going to put them right along the edge and right against the bottom. Try not to put too much glue on because I don't want to use up all my pocket for the glue. It's gonna go right like that. And there's just enough room to not interfere with the hinge of the folio. I sure hope you've enjoyed this so much this year. Only 2 months left after this one. If you have any ideas on what you think I should do for 2026, then please leave me a comment. Now this one here, I think to try to make it even, I'm going to do it right at the tip of that pocket. Oh, but then will this fit? If I put that there, kind of want that. Because I kind of want those to fit in there. So let's put it down that far. So let's just put my ruler here so I can get an idea. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 of an inch up from the other pocket. I do kind of want to make them even on both sides. So it's going to go right at the 7. I'm going to line it up with that edge. And there we go. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. So if we do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 right there. So that should make it even. Glue up the edges. I do love seeing pictures of what you've made and how you're using these freebies. I really enjoy seeing what everybody's made with the freebies. It makes doing them that much more special. Okay, so then these are going to go into here. So let's just go ahead and, no, maybe not, because we're going to decorate them anyways. Let's take those out. So that's kind of the base of our folio done. Now, I originally made these because I was thinking on doing like a policy closure on here, you know, with the string. But after I seen that that was a little bit crooked, I decided against that because I want to try and cover that up. So what I'm thinking is making just like a little lip thing here. Just by putting some of these things together. This is what I'm thinking anyways. And then I'll use the Velcro dots again for, but I'm just gonna try and make it a little decorative here by doing like a little bit of a collage. And I think one up here somewhere. Just kind of like that. Now the trick is going to be gluing this together. So I'm going to start, I'm just going to put a drop of glue there. Just to hold this together while I'm I don't want to glue it down yet because of course I can only glue down on one side. Something like that. And then if I put just, I'll come back and I'll glue this all down better after, or glue it all together better. That's going to kind of be like that. Let's go ahead and drop a glue there. Drop a glue here. And then drops there. There. So that's kind of what I want. Now I can glue this together a little bit better. I'll just squeeze some, probably a much better way of doing this, but this will work. Just dropping a little bit more glue down some of those areas, make it a little more secure. Okay, even though I've covered up most of the label, but I'm okay with that. I see here I came over just a tiny little bit with my pocket. I'm just gonna trim that off. So then this part is going to go, actually I think I'll continue it up, just up and over the little bit. So I only want, put a little bit of glue on here. And a little bit more there. A little bit there. Okay, now I only want glue on half of this, so let's okay. And then let's actually open this up. Put it down right like that. Nope. And then that's going to close like that. Well, it's a little bit off, but that's okay. I think it's. Now, I kind of want to do something with this. I'll start by inking it up because of the fact that we're going to see that now. And then could just put a couple of okay, let's do this here. Let's just glue down a few little leaves and whatnot to this. As long as it doesn't interfere with my pocket. And then it'll kind of help decorate that and hide it a little bit. I'm okay if you can see part of it, but I don't want to see quite that much. Let's see, what can we... Something like that could cover up a fair bit. You could just leave it blank. Could have backed it with a piece of the paper a bit as well. Okay, so maybe just one more flower on there. It should let's not glue down that side. Don't want it to interfere with my pocket. So that's still, we can still get behind there with our tag. And we can still get it in there okay. Okay, that will work. That covers it up. Now, let's put this on. So then that's going to close up. So if we put it kind of right around here. I do like these Velcro dots. I think they work perfect for this. They're not going to hold a whole bunch, but it's enough to hold it closed. Okay, put this one upside down on there. And do a couple drops of glue. And then that's going to just close, and it's going to hold it there. Now, because it's still wet, I'm going to carefully open it up. There we go. Make sure there's no glue. Okay. We are doing good. Now then, do I want something on the top here? That's kind of too big. But what if we just put a couple of these just as a little topper? Or we could put something like this. What else do we got? You know, or a leaf or two. That right there is going to be our topper. Let's go ahead and let's put that on there. A little bit of this just on the corner to catch it there. And then this one here, just a little bit on that side. That's going to catch it there. Now, Just hold on because I have this here that I dyed. I've got to send some of this out to the winner of the live that Hazel and I did. Where is an end? Oh, there's an end. Just want a little tiny piece. Just a little bit. And that can just kind of sit like that, and I'm going to glue the bee right on top of all that, and that'll hold that eyelash trim down. When I glue through stuff like that, I always put on a little bit extra glue. And I always hold it down that little bit extra longer to hopefully squish it around the fibers and a little bit of eyelash trim just kind of gives it a little bit more dimension. And so what I will do, because I'm gluing through stuff, if I feel like, see this corner right here of the wing, so I'll just lift it and I'll put just a drop of glue under there, and then it catches the thread wool fibers. But there's that. That is cute. Cute, cute. It's going to go in there. Don't think I'm going to do much to these. So we're just going to tuck those in there. Fit perfectly. Now I do usually always put the months, so I want one of these, and I'm thinking I could just put it down here. There's my what do I want? I don't think I want that just plain. I want something. What do we got in here? Oh, that might be just what I need. Just a little piece of my fabric here. There, that'll be perfect actually. Start by gluing this. Probably should have did it the other way. I should have glued the fabric down first and then glued this on it. But that's okay. That's just like the perfect size. It was meant to be. And then let's just glue this down. And yes, fabric tack or hard glitter glue works great for fabric. Okay, so we're going to have quite a few leftover pieces. Don't think I'm going to add those. These are a bit bulky, but and these are just too big for this project. So then we can go ahead. We can add a few of these little goodies into these pockets. I don't see why we can't. Give a little more decoration. The rest I think we'll just put in our bag. So then we've got this now. Feel like that's kind of bare there. What if we put this bee there? There we go. Now does this side look bare? Let's put a leaf there. I like doing projects that have all these little cutouts, because then you can really make it your own. So there is that. Now comes the fun part of hooking it onto here. We need to put these two on first. So kind of I'm just using that so I can kind of line it up, so I can get an idea of where these are going to go. Okay, there's one. After doing the tab binding a couple of times, I'm really enjoying it. I like how it goes together and I like how it looks. I've been doing monthly freebies for, I'm gonna say 5-6 years now. So hopefully you've been able to find them all. Most of them are on coffee now. I don't know if some of the old ones are on there, but one day I'm gonna have to look and see. Okay, so now this is gonna go over. And then it's kind of going to line up, and then these are just going to get pulled over. Now, don't pull these tight when you're doing this, because you want it to be a bit loose. You don't want it to pull over. So I just put it on top, and I just kind of have my hand sitting there. I'm not really pressing down, and just pulling it over. Just I want it snug, but I don't want it tight. I think 1 month I pulled them too tight, and then kind of was acting kind of weird. There's the second one. And then we got the third one. Now this one here is going to stick up a little bit, and that's okay. Wasn't really my intentions, but just the type of folio that it is. And let's just make sure I got the ends good on these. Looks like it. So then when we open it up, there we have this here, and you can see, yes, it sticks up a little ways, but not too far. Now, that's something that I just thought of. Now, we always end up with these leftover pieces, so I'm going to put one of them right over on the side of the month before. Now, when you're kind of looking through it, kind of ties them together a little bit. And, you know, I just thought of this just now after 10 months of just putting something on this page that would tie it in with that page. So you could easily do this on anything. You could put a hummingbird over here, and maybe a bee or a daisy on this side, and maybe one of these flowers if you got that left over. You know, something purplish, something. So they could really easily do that, that's for sure. And do I want anything over here? I don't think so, but we do have a few leftover pieces. No, I don't think so. So there we have our October Folio. Open that up. And there we have the inside. Lots of sunflowers and autumn themed goodies. Hope you enjoyed this month's folio. Hope you've enjoyed all the folios. 2 months to go. And like this one here sticks out this way a bit too compared to the others, but that's okay. I wanted them all different sizes. But if this is maybe the next month or something, I'll try to make something else a little wider just to give this a little more strength. I still haven't decided how I'm going to close this. I'm thinking just like a big ribbon of some kind. But there we have October. Hopefully you will like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Take a look at the links in the description. Join me on Coffee and on Facebook group, etc. And we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.